I love xLights because of what it does for the people that are important to me, the community and what it brings to them, and the tradition it creates for them.
So xLights has all the tools I would ever need.
I love the fact that when I run into an issue, the developers are so approachable and quick to help.
The initial commit was March 30th, 2010. I started xLights as a show player. Later, I met up with Sean Meehan, and he and I got together, and he had created some effects for pixels, but it was web-based and hard to use. He allowed me to rewrite those and incorporate them into xLights. That was xLights' first big step.
I heard of Nutcracker xLights from the user groups that we were involved in, Do-It-Yourself Christmas, DIY Light Animation, and Sean lives in Colorado with me, and we met at a couple minis.
I'd been using Mr. Christmas for 10 years. It failed multiple times. So at the end of 2011, I decided to go look to try to create my own sequencer.
Back in that day, Sean and I were hanging out almost every day together, talking on the phone probably 5 times a week, and he just kept saying, oh, I need a visualizer. So I hacked together some code.
And Dave kind of got all the code kind of started and handed it over and said, run with it, guys. So I think the first thing I did was I created the on effect.
Back in 2013, I was using a different sequencer called HLS, and I just needed to find a way to get the HLS sequences to work with FPP, and I got involved with xLights to start converting those things, and just kind of grew from there.
I got started in xLights back in 2014. I went to the Sydney Mini. 2 months later, I emailed Sean and said, hey, I made a change to the snowflake effect. He gave me commit rights to the repository, and it was only 6 months later that I found out that I actually broke the original effect.
I started with the xLights project in 2017. I'm a software developer by trade, so the first time I downloaded it, I was just playing with it, and I was able to resize the window and get it to crash. Based on that, I kind of was like, oh, I'll download the code and see if I can fix the crash. So that was the first thing I fixed, was actually a crash in September 2017.
The xLights name came about because the X in xLights stood for cross-platform across PCs, Macs, and Linux.
So my major contributions to xLights, the big one was 3D layout. I also did the polyline model, several effects, including the on effect, morph, galaxy, shockwave, fan, marquee, DMX, and servo. I did the new sequence wizard. I did a lot of work on how the operations work on the grid. Also did a lot of the copy paste on the grid and the undo and redo functionality when you're working on the grid.
My current primary involvement is obviously maintaining the Mac version of xLights, but also heavily involved with the integration of xLights with controllers such as FPP.
Currently in xLights, I do just minor things. I've kind of worked on some controller integration. The thing I'm kind of interested in now is doing scripting. So like scripting behind the scenes, you can do repetitive tasks over and over with scripts.
My favorite feature in xLights is the 3D layout, because you can fly through it when you're playing back a sequence.
I really like xLights because I like software development. I like the challenge of it. One of the things when you do a lot of software development and One thing I really envy about xLights is the other developers. In software development, sometimes you kind of hit this like peak of where you don't get more knowledge, and you can learn off of a lot of other people and learn how to become a better developer. So I really enjoy like looking at Dan's code, Keith's code, and seeing the new ways they're doing stuff to try to, further my growth in software development. Yeah, I hope the future of xLights looks like easier integration, easier to use interfaces. I'd love it that a new user could just plug in their controller and automatically xLights would find it, xLights would auto-config, and then just have a more simple experience, a nice integrated system where it's really easy for new users to get going.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what the various users of xLights can dream up in the upcoming years as far as new features and enhancements that could benefit the entire community.
It grows and grows. I never thought 10 years ago that it would end up where it is now. And I acknowledge that the only reason that happened is because I made it open sourced and because I got amazing people to come and join. I'm very proud of how the community helps new people, creates so much content in the videos and the Zoom sessions.
xLights around the world and things like that. It's just very exciting, and to see all the different directions it's gone.
I love xLights because it makes it easy for my customers and myself to sequence our lights.
I love xLights because it gives us this great freedom of creativity.
xLights is awesome because what it does for the community.
What I love most about this software and why it's so wonderful, it brings the community together around the world and puts smiles on faces.
Thank you, xLights.
Thanks, xLights.
Thanks, xLights.
Thank you, xLights.
Thank you, xLights.
Thank you, xLights.
Thank you, xLights.
Congratulations, xLights, for 10 years.
And here's to another 10.
It's exciting to see an idea grow.